What's up YouTube, Hudson Fan 15, about to head out to my final night of darts for our winter session. But before I do, I want to do a contest response for Eastern Sports Cards. He is doing a 300 subscriber contest. Of course, being a Connecticut guy myself, my immediate reaction when I saw one of his videos was, how the hell do we not know each other already? But apparently, he was out of it for a long time and then just recently got back in. Which is interesting because I have had an on-again, off-again relationship with collecting. I got my first pack of 1989 Topps cards when I was 5 years old. And my mother bought them for me at a local newsstand, and just became something that I look forward to getting. By 6, my father would take me to my first card show, and I bought my first Don Mattingly card, 1990 Don Rust Diamond Kings. That was my first singles purchase. But I always enjoyed busting, and so by 8, we were in something of a family business, buying and selling and going to the local area card shows. And when I say local area, I mean Nanuet, New York, to Mystic, Connecticut, up through into the Springfield, Massachusetts, going up towards Boston area. We would have trips, and we'd find different shows to go to. We would go to place in outside of Kennebunkport, Maine, where the Bush family is from, the presidents, Gunquit, and stayed at a place called the Cliff House, and we would do these different day trips. And I remember a couple of different mall shows and things like that over the years that we'd stop at. The air really got let out of the hobby by about 95. It was not there wasn't the exclusivity. Things were people buying and selling at prices that it was really hard to make money. And so we just kind of collectively, all of us as a family, kind of lost interest in it. A lot of the local teams weren't winning either, so that didn't make things much better. We were getting into very different things, starting lineups and things like that, and it just didn't hold the interest for my parents financially, and then I sort of started transitioning to collectible card gaming for a few years. So I did that, and then I got really burnt out with that too, because of a lot of the rule changes and things that kept happening, primarily with Magic the Gathering, and then not being able to find other people to play other games with. The fan bases weren't as nearly as large for the Star Wars and Star Trek and the other collectible card games that were around. So got out of those too. Found my way back into cards about 1999. My interest had been piqued a little bit by the draft with Peyton Manning, obviously being a Colts fan, and decided to start getting back into it when there's an independent video store near my house, and the guy Lee was a card fan, and he had like a little card corner. I noticed over time that it was getting really just disheveled, just prices that were way out of date, stuff just piling up, things like that. And I found out that he would just buy stuff and end up not making money on it because he's not he wasn't paying back in. He would bust out of boredom in a lot of cases, and then that's no good for a business. So I was working at a pharmacy in that plaza, and I worked out a deal with him where I would get paid in cards. I would never take any of the local teams, players, things like that, that were the high quality stuff. But I had my own interests. I was taking a lot of Colts stuff and some Vikings things for people I knew and things along those lines. And then anything that and I was taking it at book value. So I was probably working for 30-35 cents on a dollar at that point, at a pretty low rate as it was, but it was something to do, and we'd talk shop, and treated me well, buy a meal here and there. So it was good times, and it was a way to stay active and be in a hobby, and I also started getting into eBay, because part of what he wanted to do was sell on eBay. So I was buying stuff, and I was actually doing box breaks and all just on my we had a family room floor with my father. And one particular break, we pulled a Joe Namath autograph that really kind of piqued his interest back up in it for a little bit, but then that subsided. And that's I went through with that. I started getting into Huddy at the time, and then I started just getting into I graduated high school. I was working, and I was starting to get into other interests. I wanted to get a car. I wanted to put a sound system in the car. I wanted to go out to the club with my friends, things like that. And it started, I just prioritized the money aspect of it again. And so I got out of it for quite a while. Even with the local card store that I ended up working for a number of years popping up. Didn't really buy much, but I go in and see them every once in a while. And started dating Deanna, and eventually the conversation came around to cards, and she went to the card store. She started kind of not seeming like she was vehemently against it, kind of thing. So green light for me, and I started going nuts buying cards again in 06, and so late by making more frequent trips to the card store, I was staying in the owner's wheelhouse. What he was as a regular, and it seemed like I knew what I was doing. I was started bringing him stuff from eBay to sell in the store, where I was buying at a price, knowing the price that he would pay, knowing what he was going to charge, and so I was making some money that way. And finally he said, "You want to work for me?" Not just like some of these other guys that I've got working here, where they're just babysitting a cash register. You know your stuff, you know how to sell, and you have the ability to do things, maybe not the same level he could with the business, but as far as inventory management went, go through and just price and have stock ready and shuffle things around in cases. And I was suggesting to him, hey, you should try selling this card online. Hey, you need to reprice this, that sort of thing. Anyway, so might as well get paid to do it. And was sitting there working at that store. I found box breaks on YouTube with Cards Infinity, and the rest is very well documented history. So that is the genesis of my collecting life, and I hope this satisfies the contest requirements. I hope one of these days we get to meet up, potentially at the Stratford, Connecticut card show. I believe the next one that's scheduled actually falls on Easter, so I don't know how they're going to plan that. I don't know if they're going to push that up a week and make it the last weekend in March, or if they're going to skip it and there's not going to be another one until May. But one of these, when you seem like you want to make the schlep on down, I know it's a bit of a ride for you all the way out there. But like I said, I'll meet up with you, my town, and drive the rest of the way if you want. So that's part of the card community, and some to me anyways, finding people connect with the hobby and all. And you'll not be disappointed. And again, even if it's just in the money you're going to save in supplies, it's trust me, it's worth it. Eastern CT Sports Cards, appreciate it. Link is in the description box. Congratulations on 300 subs. You got a long way to go to get to where my sub count is, but the kind of guy it sounds like you are, and the type of things you're trying to organize with bulk PSA submissions and everything else, I think you'll get there in no time. Alright, YouTube, peace.